To misquote Goodfellas, as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a cricketer. And though there have been times when we grew apart, when maybe I should have called back more than I did, me and cricket have always come back to one another. After family, it's the one constant in my life, the one thing that's always been there. And after all I've been through, it's my happy place, my comfort blanket, my safety zone, my bliss. And the thing is, I can't really remember a time when it wasn't. It was always there in my life. Always the family talk and the focus of almost every day. Thinking about it, talking about it, playing it, watching it. I remember seeing Ashes matches in the early 1980s, standing in front of a shop window in the St George's shopping centre in town while Mum went shopping. I didn't want to be dragged round Marks and Spencer's, BHS or Debenhams. I just wanted to watch Terry Alderman of Australia play the series of his life, getting Graham Gooch out LBW over and over again. And it had all begun with Dad, of course. My mum, my grandparents, my brother, and the people around the club. They're all in there, in the mentor mix. But it starts with him. Because although he didn't actually teach me cricket, not in the formal sense, what he did was imprint the game into me, purely and simply because his love for it was so infectious. And that sort of passion, when it's genuine, when it lives in someone's DNA, can't help but rub off. Dad knew the basics of the game, of course, and he passed those on, but wasn't in a position to coach me properly. What he did was to keep the game alive in word and thought and deed, which was more than enough. There was a thing I told him once, and I think he laughed, but it was true, that if I played a bad shot, I'd sometimes hear a little clap from his chair. Not a cheer, not encouragement, more like, "We're not doing that, are we?" He didn't need to say anything, just that one clap. He took me everywhere, to practice, every game, wherever I needed to be. I later found out when I was staying in team hotels, Mum and Dad would sometimes sleep in the car. They didn't say anything about it at the time, but we weren't flush with money and they just got on with it. That's how much they wanted me to have the opportunities. They never made a show of it, never looked for credit, and they never put pressure on me, which might be the best thing they ever did for me looking back. They wanted me to do well, obviously. You could feel that, but it wasn't pressure, not in the way you sometimes see it now, where parents are living through the kids. They just give me support, quiet encouragement and space. I tried to remember that with my own kids. Dad could be tough too. 3 years in a row I went to the Dartford Festival, which was a long-running junior cricket tournament that brought together county-level players from all over the country. It was a proper test for young cricketers, and at the end of the week they'd pick a representative side. A sort of best of the best match, and I got picked all 3 years, which was rare, especially at that age. I remember one year I was 9, and Dad was hitting me catches in the warm-up when I caught one between the fingers and split the webbing on my hand. It was horrible, and unsurprisingly, I was in a bit of a state about it. But Dad had the solution. He taped them fingers together and cut my batting glove so I could hold the bat. "You're good to go," he said, and that was Dad. He wasn't going to let split webbing stop me. At the time, I didn't question it. And looking back now with kids of my own, I think, would I do that? Probably not, if I'm being honest. Sorry, Dad. But it stayed with me all the same. You get on with it. Good to go. That's what I learned. Advice that helped me play injured nearly all my career. Another lesson I got from him was the fact that sometimes the mistakes aren't necessarily down to a lack of effort. It's not that you're not trying. It's that you're trying too hard. You want it so much. You get in your own way. That was me at times. Chasing instead of letting it come. I'd be pushing for the big score and I'd forget to play the game that was in front of me. Dad got that. He was passionate but sensible. Measured. When I retired from playing, I think he was sadder about it than I was. All those years coming to matches, watching me play for England, suddenly over. And there I am, jumping about on the telly. That was never going to be his thing. Again, sorry, Dad, But you know what? Cricket never left me. And I did eventually find my way back.